have to speak so I understand you.
You're
Okay?
Korean veteran.
Yes, sir.
와,
I'm very honored and pleased to meet you today.
Thank you. Thank you. That was 2010.
Yeah. 2010?
Yeah, well, so that was 2010 when I was in. You know?
Here.
Yeah. A long time ago.
Yeah, this is Abe Thompson.
How are you, ma'am? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Glad we could come to visit you today.
Oh, thank you. I'm very honored. Oh, thank you.
This is here. This is for you.
Thank you, sir.
Take a photo.
Yeah, I heard. Yes, I'll put.
Okay. All right. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
But it's fortunate
Yeah.
to find you,
Uh-huh.
even at this late time.
Just beginning to advertise it and say something about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Roseville, Michigan. That's a little island, Navy Air Station, about 40 miles out of Detroit, and I served there. I was hoping for a venture for treating the Navy people by ship or by plane, but we went over on the plane and brought some of the wounded home, and I never got to see Korea, but I was there. I'd say the first year was probably training and stuff at the base, but probably in the second year when the war was getting stronger.
So you only served in airplane or ship in the hospital?
Yeah, I was in an airplane.
In the plane on the ground for a little while when they brought the patients aboard. I
Right.
see. Okay.
Yeah. I didn't even know where I was. It was all dark and everything, so. But you know, I bought a little book on Korea and I thought, someday I'm going over there. Someday. There was one or two that was helping us with the stretcher and things like that and strapping him down so he wouldn't be moving around in there. So, but the other people, they often went by ship or by plane.
So you didn't have a chance to meet the Korean people
No.
outside the hospital?
No, there was only two people,
Only
two
people
young
on
men
the
that.
stretcher?
Yeah, that helped with the stretcher and strapped him down and everything, and away we went. And I'm glad to say that those two men with the God survived.
I had the honor of serving in Korea in 1965 and 1966 after the war, in the defense period. And I served near the DMZ, and I met some wonderful Korean people, and I'm the state chapter or the commander of the Korean War Veterans Association.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to their annual reunion next week in San Antonio.
Oh, how nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, you know, I was only 21 and young person, but I was always curious. I always had to see how things were. And I appreciate what they did for me that day, but I never went back. But I said someday I will go, because those two young men were so involved with those two men that we had because they felt like they were family. And I'll never forget those two fellas and often wondered about them. But that was years ago. Yes, very nice.
Have you ever been to Korea again after?
No, no, I never was. I did go to overseas islands to work for a number of years in teaching the people the language and the work that I was sent over there to work for them, but I never did to go back. But I said that's for the future, but not anymore. After Korea,
Would have been in the 50s.
in the 50s, 50 to 54, somewhere around in there, because eventually the air station was closed, and we didn't need it anymore.
Right. Thankfully.
Yeah, yeah,
Thankfully.
yeah.
Well, one of the things that I've found about the Korean people, you talk about being there during the war, and that was a terrible, terrible time. After the war was almost equally as terrible because the nation was just devastated, and the people were poor and were hungry and were working hard, and I came along about 10 years later, and they were still working hard.
Yeah.
And our job was to just sort of stand by and guard the DMZ so that the Korean people could rebuild their nation.
Yes.
And you'd be amazed at
Yeah.
the pictures of Seoul today
Yeah.
and just the countryside. They have these huge, tall skyscrapers and the fast trains and subway systems and
Yeah.
oh my
Oh,
goodness,
yeah,
it's
wonderful.
just amazing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
traffic,
Yeah.
Anchorage traffic is nothing compared to
Yeah.
Seoul traffic. But it's the Korean
That's
people
good to hear,
are
you know,
strong and resilient, and they've worked hard, and
Yeah.
one of the top economies in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's
Well, I
it was worth.
wished I'd
it was
gone
yours
over there
worth-
earlier.
It was worth your effort, I
Yeah.
can tell you, and mine.
But,
Did you learn any Korean words while you were there?
no, I didn't. That would have been
여보세요?
interesting. Yeah, that would have been interesting.
Well, chingo means friend.
Friend,
So you and I will be chingos.
that's nice.
Yeah. So you got a chingo now.
Okay.
You got a lot of chingos. Yeah.
Oh, this is wonderful.
Where are you going to put your flowers?
On the table.
That'd be a good
Yeah,
place for them.
Pretty. Oh, thank you for my tea and coffee.
Coffee.
Yeah.
Oh, how beautiful.
Photo
Beautiful.
frame.
Oh, that is lovely.
Yeah.
It was Christmas, and the photo shop downtown Detroit had display windows, and I was walking along, and I was saying, "Oh, there's Beverly up there in a photo shop," and I walked up there and went in, and they gave them to me, and I have kept those as well as I can all these years.
Wow.
They're about the only ones that mean anything to me. What I took was Anchorage in Alaska, the last from 80 on. I have those, but I look the same. Except for hair.
Well, I woke up one morning, mine was all wet too. You know?
There's a habit of doing
I
that.
know that. But I look in my mirror in the morning, I see my father.
Oh, no. You can come up to my room, and I have 3 photos, and I was 20 years old. Would you?
There are cracks in the street that never seem to end. And every time it rains, well, they fill up and start to mend. And for a moment, just a moment, everything's so smooth, it's all so new.
I don't know that number for sure. We have about 11 in our chapter. Some of them are infirm, and they don't get out much. No, not in our group. There may be some, but I don't know. I think this woman we met today was probably the only one. I was honored to meet her. She's a strong woman, and she served in the Navy, and she was a nurse, and the nurses were so very valuable to saving lives of those that were injured. Yes, I'm sure you've seen the aerial photograph of Korea at night, the 2 Koreas. The north is dark, and the south is bright, well lit, well populated. And I've posted that picture a number of times, saying, this is why we were there. This is what it was all about. It was freedom for the South Korean people. And the small part that I played in helping make that happen makes me very proud. And I need the young people to understand what it was all about. There again, my small part makes me proud.
More than time. More than time. More than time. There are cracks in a plane flying high above the LA freeway. And like some kind of dream where the pilot brings it down.